am so happy that you're here. And today's topic is a good one. We're going to talk about meditation and anxiety. Does it really work? You may have known people, and I remember years ago when we talked about meditation, it was the weird people, those people who meditated. Now, not so much. Anybody can meditate. It's just not Buddhists, and it's just not Christians. It's just not people who like yoga or people who don't like yoga. Anybody can meditate nowadays, right? It is very popular, and it's popular for a reason. So, give me a moment. I forgot to switch over to my hotspot. So, I am hoping that I don't have any internet problems today. My internet was a little bit slow, and I'm trying to bring the rest of my Facebook audience on, and I have an anxiety group on Facebook. It's called Rising Above Women, and it is for women. And if you are struggling with anxiety, or you could be an introvert. I do stuff for introverts too, because I was doubly blessed. Struggle with social anxiety, and I'm also an introvert. So if you're interested, then hop on over to Facebook. Just Google, search for Rising Above Anxiety, and you will find my Facebook group right there. So I want to do a huge thanks to Shavima. And if I'm not pronouncing your name right, let me know. But Shavima sent me a message last week that she wanted me to talk about meditation and a healthy lifestyle, right? Because as you know, that when you suffer with anxiety, when you struggle with anxiety, if you don't treat it, if you don't get it taken care of, there are a lot of things, and I've covered this in previous lives, that can happen physically to the body, and your health can decline. So Shavima wanted, me to talk about really, what is the deal with meditation? And when you talk about a healthy lifestyle, what is the real deal, right? And so let me say this, that if you are on Facebook and you want to chat with me real time and ask me questions, you need to hop on over to my business page. It's Dr. Twanna Carter, Professional and Personal Coaching, and you can ask me questions there live time and I can answer them. For those of you on Instagram, my apologies, but it's little bitty writings because I'm doing live from my smartphone. And as I can see now, the print is in white and it's very, very tiny. And I don't wear my glasses doing live, so I can't see it. But if you drop me a question, I'll be sure to answer your question after the live is over, for those of you on Instagram. And so, again, for my ladies in Rising Above Anxiety, now you can ask me a question in the group. I just won't see it real time, and after I get done with the live, of course, I do it like I always do. I'll pop in and answer questions. But if you want those questions in real live, like right now, you want me to answer them, go ahead and hop on over to my business page. And when you hop on, as you're viewing, drop me a thumbs up and let me know that you're watching. Okay, so without further ado, let's see here. It looks like I'm missing some information from my live here. Interesting. It did not show up, but not a problem. I can still definitely go from my notes. So if you are out there after this live is over with, I'll put the 7 ways, 7 things that meditation can help you with. And I thought I'd put it out there live, but nevertheless, we shall go on. Okay. So I asked a question like, does meditation really help anxiety? The answer is absolutely yes. Meditation does help with anxiety. It helps to lower anxiety. It helps to bring you out of fight or flight. Okay. And that's very important because yes, when anxiety is triggered, you go into fight or flight because that's what your body does. When anxiety triggers you, it's a safety mechanism. It's a protection mechanism. And the thing is, most of us don't, we don't have to run and hunt for our food anymore. So we're not in that kind of danger every day, but the mechanism still works, right? And some of us, it works overtime. So we get anxious And when you're in anxiety for too long, you have chemicals that are secreted. And if you're in anxiety like 24/7, 18 hours a day, 20 hours a day, 12 hours a day, those chemicals that are produced can really start to break your body down. It can make your diabetes worse. It can give you hypertension or make your hypertension worse. Just a lot of things that anxiety can do to the body. But meditation, as little as 5 to 10 minutes a day, can actually make your anxiety worse. So I'm going to wave. I know that um, it says Clean Start Wellness. Not sure of the name, but thanks for joining me. I read that one. I got really, really close to the camera. Thanks for joining. So yes, anxiety as little as 10 minutes a day, meditation can help with anxiety. It can lower your anxiety, right? Absolutely. It can actually lower your hypertension, right? And I know this for a fact. I went in for a procedure, and and I didn't think that I would, because I worked in a hospital at the time. I worked in the V hospital, but the lab coat, the white coat syndrome, right? And so they took my blood pressure and it had shot up. And so I asked the nurse what was my blood pressure. She's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. And we got things that can bring it down." I said, "No, I need to know what my blood pressure is." And it has really spiked high, high for me. And so I said, okay. And I sat there and I began to meditate. And, after about 5 minutes, 10 minutes of meditation, I asked her again what my blood pressure was. She said, "I told you not to worry." And I said, "No, I need to know what my blood pressure is." And she took my blood pressure again. She turned around and looked at me. She said, "What did you do?" I just looked at her and smiled. She said, "What did you do?" And my blood pressure had dropped from like 140 something over 80 or whatever it was, which is, for some people they say it's normal, but for me that was very high. And it had dropped back down to like really low. And she was like, "What did you do?" I meditated, 5 minutes of meditation, and it dropped my blood pressure. So if meditation can lower your blood pressure, then obviously it can lower your anxiety. It is really great for that. So if you're looking at my list, or I'll put it out later, um, number 2, it controls anxiety. Number 3, meditation can reduce your stress, right? So if you're stressed out, and it doesn't matter what you're stressed out about, in as little as 10 minutes of meditation, you can lower your stress. And when you lower your stress, of course, you lower your anxiety. When you lower your stress and your anxiety, of course, you can lower your blood pressure, your hypertension. And it does work. Now, I know some people's like, "Yeah, sure, it works." It doesn't work for me. If you look at MRIs, and they've taken MRIs of the brain after people have done meditation, and you can actually see the changes in the brain after meditation. So it's like, "Oh, woo woo, it feels good to meditate." There is scientific evidence by MRI that meditating changes your brain. You can actually see how it affects and changes the brain, right? So yes, it is possible to reduce your stress, lower your hypertension or your blood pressure, and lower your anxiety. I do, for my coachees, we do practice meditation. We start off with breathing first, and I teach my clients to do that because I know that it works. It is a way that you can work in tandem with the coaching that I do, and rewire your brain so that you can manage your anxiety and it doesn't affect your life when it's out of control, right? And so what is something else that meditation is good for? I use meditation to increase pain, or really to go through it and tolerate pain. And that is another reason that some people get into meditation, because you can do it and it increases your tolerance of pain, so that, what would normally throw you for a loop, and some people suffer a lot of functional pain, immense, tremendous amounts of functional pain or pain, right? And when you suffer from pain all the time, it increases your anxiety, it increases your stress, and it can increase your blood pressure. Okay. If you've ever been in to see the doctor when you've been in a lot of pain and they take your blood pressure, often your blood pressure can be really, really high because pain, when you're in pain, it just increases the stress and it shoots your blood pressure up. And so one of the things that you can do to mitigate that or control it is you can do meditation. And so a lot of people do get into meditation. They'll meditate for 30 minutes, especially when they're in pain, because in meditation you can concentrate on one thing, and it's your choice what you concentrate on. I typically start my coaches on concentrating on their breath first. But certainly for some people it doesn't quite work. You can concentrate on a scene. You can concentrate if you were on a vacation and something was very beautiful. You really can, choose the one thing you're going to concentrate on, and that is what you meditate. You start your meditation on. Other people will pray, and they will do prayer and meditation. So whatever your faith or however you decide to do meditation, it's not important. It's just what works for you. You do what works for you, right? And so, but yes, you can manage pain, especially for those who are in a lot of chronic pain. Meditation is an excellent way, right? So that you don't feel like you're losing your mind because you're in pain so much, okay? And so the other thing that meditation can help with your emotional health. So yes, people that suffer from depression, they struggle with depression. We've already talked about anxiety. Meditation is a way. We talked about, you heard me say a few minutes ago, how that when people meditate, we can do an MRI and it can see in the parts of the brain that it changes. And so that's how we definitely know that meditation is a way to improve your mental health, your emotional health. That's a way to do that, right? And it doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to leave your house and go to the gym. You can meditate at your job. You can meditate and pray in church or your synagogue or your mosque. You can meditate in your house. You can meditate in the car if you park somewhere. Whatever you are, you really can meditate as long as it's safe, right? You can meditate and manage it, but it does improve your emotional health. Okay. And so the other thing that meditation is good for, it does enhance self-awareness because, you're not like clearing your brain and making it free of all thoughts. And so some people say, well, I can't meditate because I can't clear my brain. So that's not it at all. It's just that we get 67,000 thoughts a day. You've heard me mention this several times. But when we meditate, you pick your one thing out to concentrate on. And so when your thoughts wander, as human beings, that's what happens when your thoughts wander in. You go, oh yeah, I'm concentrating on this, so let me pull my thoughts back to this. The longer you meditate, the more it increases your ability to then begin to focus on the one thing, whatever it is you chose to focus on. And in that focusing on that one thing, you become aware of yourself, right? People can become aware of their heartbeat. They are very aware when their heartbeat increases. And sometimes when we struggle with anxiety, we don't always know all the different ways that it affects our body. But once you start meditating, you start becoming more aware of yourself. You'll notice that. You will notice that when some people come around, you get the boom, boom, it's like they're kind of stressing you out, right? You start to notice these things about yourself. You will also notice that when you're around certain people, you feel very comfortable. You get very relaxed. You can feel that too, right? And I'm a big person with energy, and when certain people come around, their energy can really get you riled up. You'll start to notice those things about yourself. You'll notice what kind of gets you riled up. You'll notice what makes you comfortable, what makes you relax. You start to just really become aware of yourself. And that's important when you're talking about managing anxiety and we're talking about managing depression, becoming aware of what increases your anxiety or what increases your stress. Once you become aware of it, you know what to stay away from or and I've talked to people as an anxiety and career coach. I talk to people who are anxious because of their job. And it's not always the job. Sometimes it's the people on the job. And so when you have this job, you're going to go in every single day and see person X, right? So you may not be able to change the fact that you're going in to see person X, but you certainly can meditate and change the way you react to person X, and you can manage your anxiety. It is very much possible. Okay. So I'm going down a list, and I'll put out the list when I get done with this. And I talked about enhanced self-awareness. The other thing that meditation can help you do, it lengthens your attention span. And as you'll note, for those of you with a smartphone, our attention span, collectively, our attention span has gotten this. I read something the other day that says that, sadly, the human attention span is less than a goldfish. Yeah, that kind of hit me there. It's less than a goldfish. We've gotten so used to the smartphones, and some people have their smartphone that it tweaks when there's a tweet, and it buzzes when there's a message on Facebook, and it does this when there's an Instagram, and it does this when somebody messages you. I cut all mine off. Sometimes I'll have it buzz when I do a message, but I refuse to attend to a phone every time it rings at me, tweets at me, and all those other things. But because of that, and because now with internet, there's so much information at our fingertips, literally at our fingertips. There's so much information, there's so much to know that we are so distracted, right? We're very, very distracted. Whether you're in the United States, whether you're in the UK, you're in India, if you have a smartphone, we tend to be very distracted because of that smartphone or because of the laptop. So meditating can increase your attention span. Okay, and this is what I have my clients do. We start off with 2 minutes, right? 2 minutes. Then we grow from there. And I say to you the same thing. I wouldn't go in unless you've been used to meditating. I wouldn't go in and start with 10 minutes meditation. I will start with 2 minutes. If you're good, start with 5. Then each week increase it a minute or a couple of minutes. And then each week you increase it. In a month's time, you can easily be up to meditating 10 minutes, right? But you'll want to start in small chunks because your brain is going to resist you. If you're going in like, no, come hell or high water, I'm meditating for 30 minutes. Your brain is like, no, you're not. No, I run this show, and you're not meditating for 30 minutes. No, because I am going to be distracted. I'm going to be waiting on that cell phone to ring. I'm going to be waiting on on a message to come through. So no, your brain is not going to roll with that for the most part. But if you chunk it down to 2 minutes, you can do 2 minutes, right? Couple of weeks, you can meditate for 2 minutes. Then you stretch it up to 5 minutes. A few weeks, you can do 5 minutes. Then you stretch it up to 12. 13, 15, and before you know it, you'll be at 20, and within a 6-month span, easily meditate for 30 to 45 minutes, right? Because again, if you walk in and say, today I'm going to meditate for an hour, your brain's going to resist you because you've got to train your brain. And that's why you start with small chunks of things, right? I've done a live on that too, why you start small and then grow that. Okay, so the other surprising thing that you may not know about meditation can help you generate kindness. Okay, because when you become aware of yourself, you learn to practice self-compassion, because oftentimes we beat ourselves up. You didn't do this right. The presentation wasn't good enough. You don't look this. You're too fat. You're too thin. You're too tall. You're too short. You're too whatever, right? We can just really beat ourselves up. But when you start to meditate, you start to have compassion for yourself. Then when you have more compassion for yourself, you can extend that to other people. So it increases kindness and compassion to other people. So who knew, right? Who knew all the benefits of meditation? When you get these benefits of meditation, you can change your lifestyle. It is a healthier lifestyle, right? So if you are always on the go, just find it difficult to take time out for yourself, but you're tired of being stressed, meditation may be the answer for you. Now, if you like to do a free strategy session with me, a coaching session with me, I'll drop a link in there and let's do that. Let's set up an appointment and let's go over a strategy session, because if you're stressed day in and day out and you're anxious day in and day out and you're not sleeping, that starts to wear your body down, and over time you will pay for it, right? But why pay for it with increased illness when something as much as 10-15 minutes a day meditation can help that, right? But if you're still like, I have too much to do, too much on my plate, I have kids and I have a significant other, I have a spouse and I have a job and I'm going to school and we've got soccer practice and we've got chorus practice and we've got Girl Scouts, and the list just keeps growing. I promise you, you can do it. You really can do meditation, and you will be very happy with the results that you get, and you're talking about 24 hours a day, and you're trying to get a quarter of an hour to meditate. That's all. It can be done. Call me up and I'll help you come up with a strategy to do it. Okay. So I think yes, that's Diane. I can read Diane's name there. I'm going to wave at her. Thanks for joining. And so today I spoke to you about meditation. It is Open Topic Friyay, when you actually can send me anytime during the week. You can send me a topic, email me, direct message me and say, hey, can you talk about this? And I'll do a live on that. So today's topic was courtesy of Shivima, and she asked me to speak about meditation in a healthy lifestyle. So I covered with you the 7 ways that meditation can help you. And we talked about reducing stress. We talked about it reduces anxiety. We talked about increased pain tolerance with meditation. We talked about, improved emotional health, whether you have depression or whether you have meditation, it helps with that. We talked about it increases self-awareness. We also talked about it increases your attention span, and who doesn't need that, right? Especially with the smartphones, right? And also it can generate and increase your kindness, compassion for yourself, and compassion for others. So that's been my motivational nuggets today, the benefits of meditation. And if you don't believe it, Google meditation in the brain, how you can MRIs actually show how your brain changes when you meditate, just in case you're like, I still don't believe it. Yes, there is scientific proof that meditation does help you. That's been my truth today. Thanks for joining in, and you all have a great rest of the weekend. Hey, Jasmine, I just realized Jasmine joined. Hey.